We talked about this on Thursday.
Yeah, I know.
Then on Thursday afternoon, there was a story that came from ESPN.com's Jake Trotter that I believe has the fingerprints of Baker Mayfield and or people close to him all over it. I think this is part of the effort to get out of Cleveland, to demonstrate how dysfunctional and toxic it was there. A lot of allegations, a lot of reporting in the article, and the one thing that really stood out to me, that really got my attention, the thing that makes me think this bridge cannot be rebuilt, it has been obliterated, blown to smithereens. The notion that Mayfield and or people close to him believe, Week 17, prime time, at Pittsburgh, they let him flop around like a fish in a boat because they wanted to lay the foundation to move on from him. Let's let him go out there and look like crap in the last Monday night game of the year, the night that the clouds parted and God's hand descended from down on high to retrieve Ben Roethlisberger and bring him home. That night, that special Ben's exit from Pittsburgh, Mayfield was horrible. They left him in the game late. He threw an interception. The belief from Mayfield's camp that the Browns wanted to make him look, and the word from the article was hapless. If that belief is there, there's no coming back from that. You don't mend that fence. Time does not heal that wound. He is done with them. They are done with him. Why is he playing along? Why would he play along with this ruse to just kind of hold on to his rights in the hopes that an opportunity emerges at some point to dump him onto some other team and get a face-saving fourth-round pick? I don't think he's going to go for it. Now, I don't know what his next move is going to be, but we saw what the move was Thursday. The move Thursday was supply a guy at ESPN.com with enough stuff to put together a 3,000-word article that makes it obvious to anyone who reads that article, it's done between the Browns and Baker Mayfield.
Yes, 100%. Done. But, we knew it was done. That's why we're shocked. As soon as they said they were going to Houston to flirt with Deshaun Watson, if I knew that on immediate, I would go, oh, well, they're done with Baker Mayfield. It's done. He's going to be done with them for sure. I don't even know Baker Mayfield that well, but he'll be done with them. And I would think they're done with him. That's where the whole thing is shocking. It's like they thought, well, wait, he'll be fine over here. We've only spent 4 years with this guy over here. Apparently you don't know him. I don't know. You didn't spend enough time with him to think that he was just going to be cool with that. But, yes, you're right. And, Mike, that's a big statement about leaving him in there, floundering, in Week 17 like you're talking about. It's a topic that my dad has said this to me over the last week, and I think he's right here with this conversation, and you might like this a little bit because he watches the show and he sees our subjects come up, and he just goes, he saw us talking about Baker last week, and he goes, hey, the one thing I would say, any quarterback that's ever in Baker Mayfield's situation ever again, year 4, contract looming, anything, don't ever play injured ever again. You can't do it. Everybody nobody takes into context the reality of where the player was physically. They're holding him to what they saw on the field, and the guy was, giving us all he's got and tape and whatever, batteries to go out there and play and be the team guy that all the fans want. And every team's fan base wants, I want our quarterback to be tough and love football. He did that, and then they just said, screw you, you didn't play good. We want to get you the hell out of here. And there's a lesson to be learned there for future quarterbacks, and they've done Baker Mayfield dirty there in Cleveland.
He's wearing that big-ass contraption that's sneaking out from the bottom of his shoulder pads every week, putting that harness on. Now, part of it was his own stubbornness.
No doubt.
And he resisted not playing because he didn't want to give Case Keenum the opportunity to come in and show, hey, Case can get it done. Maybe we ride with Case next year and not Baker Mayfield. And, of course, it all traces back to that moment that you see on the screen. He's the one that got himself injured because he decided to make the tackle after throwing the interception week 2. That goes back to something I say all the time about quarterbacks. You throw an interception, a turnover happens, find a way to just squat, duck and cover, roll up like a pill bug. Don't do anything. Don't do the Teddy Bridgewater, go try to get in the way and then turn into a bullfighter and say, Olay. Don't do that. Just get down where you are and stay safe. Let it be 11 on 10 at that point. They're not going to blame you if you're 30 yards away from the action.
That's true.
Just fall down. Grab your knee. Fake an injury. Do whatever you need to do. Don't get near the action because this is what happens. But regardless of what the motivation was.
Yeah.
Because I really do think there's stubbornness. It's his job.
Sure.
He said things like that.
Sure.
I'll decide when I can play and when I can't play. So part of it is personality driven, but he didn't want to come out.
I know.
He didn't want to come out. And that, Shereen Williams, who has good cause to trademark this phrase, she has started saying, fine, if you're not injured, then you suck. When guys claim they're fine and they're going to keep playing, okay, fine. If you're not injured, then you just suck. If you refuse to come out, that's what you get. So to the Big Effer's point, and hi Phil,
hello,
if you're watching, get off the field if you're injured, because you are going to be judged by the same standard everybody else on the field is judged by if you're playing.
No doubt. Maybe if you're established enough, you're Tom Brady, you're Aaron Rodgers, and you want to gut through some games like that, it might not be pretty. Okay, yeah. You've done enough in your career to be able to withhold or withstand that storm of, I didn't play my best football, and so what, I could take those bullets. Baker Mayfield, we know it was on the, I don't want to say on the fence, but certainly questions about whether he was the future guy and everything there. And now, okay, wait, the team's not winning and he's not playing good because he's injured and all those. It's affecting the way he plays. Yeah, now the year's over and nobody really cares or remembers the details of your injury. We just sit there and go, you didn't play that great. It wasn't that good. And here we are stuck in a situation where, not all to his doing, he's in a tough spot. He really is. I don't know how this plays out. I don't know what Cleveland's doing. I really don't. But I think this is truly this is, in my opinion, this is up there with one of the biggest screw jobs I can remember here recently. I don't mean to go totally.
But tell me what the screw job is in your assessment.
Yeah.
What did the Browns do to Baker Mayfield that you think they shouldn't have done? I'm just curious.
I know you know. I know. You're right. Because we haven't even discussed this or text. I just feel like, okay, he was a little blindsided by this, and the way it went down, they never gave him a chance here at all to really find a spot. That's the worst thing about it. So they kind of dangled him along and then got in the Watson thing, and then that dangled on for a little bit, and then they realized, oh, wait, we're not going to get Baker Mayfield, and they go back to Deshaun Watson and give him the greatest contract ever because they realized they screwed it up with Baker Mayfield. And at that point in the process, I just feel like, hey, this is your number one pick. It's a guy who played through injury and tried to be tough, and, yeah, he's not perfect. I'm sure he's a pain in the ass behind the scenes a little bit. But he loves football and plays hard for your team and has done a lot of good things and kind of put Cleveland back on the map a little bit. And you basically waited till all the seats were filled at quarterback positions and then, screwed him over personally right there with the team that he's kind of put his life into. That's where I guess I feel like they screwed him over, Mike. I know it's a dirty business and everybody gets screwed over at some point, but it's rare to see a number one pick, going into year 4 or 5 get screwed over like this.
Well, they didn't deliberately wait because they had to have Deshaun Watson before they would be done with Baker Mayfield. It is stupid that they would think they could chase Deshaun Watson, not get him, and then say, all right, Baker, let's get ready for the season. And I've had people in the media that I respect and trust make the argument, well, he knew what was going on. They were very transparent with him about what was going on. Well, just because they told his agents at the scouting combine that they're going to explore getting Deshaun Watson or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, not Tom Brady, I'm just throwing that in there to rile up the Bucs fans, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, or Deshaun Watson, even though they told him then, what did they tell him at the end of the season? It was the Week 18 Sunday splash report from NFL media that was then confirmed by the Browns. He's our guy.
He's our guy, right.
Not he's our guy unless
others come available.
We somehow, can bring Otto Graham from 1940 back to play for us, or we can get some. No, he's our guy. So they were transparent about the fact that they were lying to it.
Right.
Well, sorry, Baker, pay no attention to what we told you 6 weeks ago. We've changed our mind. And this is where...
And then it goes...
This is where...
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd love to cross-examine somebody on this.
Right.
Because early January, you're our guy.
Yeah.
Scouting combine, you may not be our guy. Deshaun Watson gets traded for in March. This was a 5-month project by the Browns. Well, I ain't too good at math, but the project was going on at the time they told Baker Mayfield, you're our guy.
That's what I mean.
So
that's weird.
And look, hey, there's no obligation for these teams to be honest with anyone. But if you're going to lie to your starting quarterback, your supposed franchise guy, kind of hard to get anyone else in the organization to believe anything you say.
Yeah, exactly. No doubt about it. So either they've lied either way there. I mean, either way you want to talk about it, you just go, well, yeah, they lied. They lied either way, whether it was he's the guy, he's the future, or been doing our due diligence on Deshaun Watson for 5 months. But then to follow it up, too, with he's our guy. So, again, letting him believe that, his agent they don't need to be looking for teams or looking for the next move. They've been led to nothing to believe that. And then all of a sudden it's, we want a grown-up at quarterback and we're flirting with Deshaun Watson out of nowhere. I mean, that's where it hit us. I don't know what they said to him before that. But either way, I mean, that's not exactly the way you try to salvage a relationship or, kick the can down the road and buy yourself a little time is, have those type of statements out there. That was, again, another low blow after, the circumstances and where we're at in the offseason for Baker Mayfield.
And that was the double whammy. March 15
right.
was when the Browns Brain Trust made the trip to Houston to meet with Deshaun Watson. March 16, Chris Mortensen says the Browns want an adult in the room. And I know that source guessing is frowned upon in this establishment, not this specific establishment, but in this business. But I'm telling you what, there's no way Mort says that unless he's hearing it from Jimmy Haslam. There's no way. There's no way Mort's coming out and making these broad negative proclamations about quarterbacks unless he's hearing it from ownership-level sources.
Somebody
now,
top
Haslam
level.
later denied it,
Yeah.
but Mayfield hears that, and he's like, wait a minute, one of the most respected and tenured guys on the national beat is saying this. He's not just pulling it out of his ass.
Right.
Sorry, London.
Yeah.
He's sorry.
He's heard it from somebody high up.
We are getting a little loose here.
Yeah.
I will apologize. Although I passed around a clip of our good friend Joe Scarboroughs dropping an sbomb on Friday, and it's like, look, if they're saying, and they're on basic cable, and they're dropping s-bombs, we're gonna say whatever we want around here. No. First of all, somebody's got to notice before we get in any trouble. But anyway, Mort didn't pull it out of his ass or any other orifice, and that was that's the 1-2 punch.
Right, that was it.
They went to Houston. That's bad enough. Then the next day we want an adult at the position. He's done.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
And see, this gets back to the point we made on Thursday.
Right.
At a time when NFL teams are becoming more willing to accommodate players who are no longer happy. And Chris Ballard, the Colts GM, had a great answer or two when I interviewed him last week about this whole idea of we want volunteers, not hostages.
Yeah.
He quoted the Mike Tomlin phrase,
right.
The idea that you don't want guys in your building who don't want to be there. It's not good for the team if you got guys who don't want to be there. Well, guess what? Now you got a guy who doesn't want to be there. And all you can hope at this point is he accepts your invitation to not show up. You can't have him there. He's got every right under the CBA and his employment contract to be there. That's the next frontier.
I can't wait.
That's the next battle between the Browns and Baker Mayfield. Does he show up, and what happens when he does? And let me just say one other thing.
I hope he does.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
Because this came up last week with the Hugh Jackson stuff, the 4-year plan that created this brouhaha over whether or not they were tanking or rebuilding, tomato. What does Paul DePodesta do other than screw things up for the Browns? I mean, what does he really do? Chief strategy officer. He's got a great gig. He's never accountable for anything. When you have the term chief strategy officer, that's a fancy way of saying he's the guy who tries to come up with angles, tries to come up with stuff, tries to come up with plans that may be a little devious, that may be a little bit against the grain, that may be a little outside the box, that help us get to what we want to get. Well, you haven't gotten all that much with this guy, frankly. You got to the final 8, but that was largely because of Baker Mayfield, the guy you're now throwing overboard. But Chief Strategy Officer Paul DePodesta better have a damn good strategy for when Baker Mayfield shows up and says, I'm here and I'm ready to work. I hear you may need a quarterback the first 6 weeks of the season or longer. I'm here to work and I'm here to play. If he does that, then they got a problem.
No question. I mean, I'm dying for the day for somebody to do that. Other than the late great Steve McNair, R.I.P. back in the day, that's the only guy we've ever had that's done that. And of course, you've explained that.
Dante Culpepper did it in Miami.
Did he do it?
He did it in Miami after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
when they were done with him and trying to get rid of him, he showed up, and they found a way to kind of tuck him off to the side, not expose him to injury. Because the whole idea is, And the traditional approach with McNair was he had an $11 million salary, cap number. Either way, they were going to trade him. They wanted to get rid of him. They didn't want him to have some freak accident during offseason workouts, and now you can't trade him. The Browns already owe Baker Mayfield $18.8 million. That doesn't matter. But they still don't, they just, for the reasons we discussed, you don't want him around. You don't want him in the building.
Right.
You already got 22 distractions from your starting quarterback. You don't need a 23rd from the guy that you don't want on your team anymore.
It'd be the greatest.
So just pull the pin and get rid of him.
Right. It'd be the greatest damn drama story in NFL offseason history. I mean, that's why we like good stories and we like dysfunction a little bit because it gives us something to talk about, but yeah, that would be what? Oh, there's Deshaun Watson, 22 civil law cases. They're trying to teach him a new offense, and there goes Baker Mayfield through the door. Like, what's up, team? Screw all of you, but I'm here. Hey, coaches, screw you. I'm here, though. Let's work. Let's do it. I mean, he can make things real uncomfortable, and I think get to the ending that he wants to get by going there and, showing up. That will expedite the process to where then maybe he can be free and go to Seattle or Carolina or somewhere else that we don't see on our radar.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.